Welcome back. So today we're going to talk about bank reconciliations, the importance of those bank reconciliations. I'm going to show you some tips and tricks to help you work your way through those reconciliations and solve the problems so that you can move forward and make sure that your books and records are accurate. Okay, let's get started. So we've got our bank reconciliation process that we're going to get to walk through. Why do we want to do a bank reconciliation first of all? I've entered all my data and transactions inside QuickBooks. It's all there anyway, right? Well, we're all human, we all make mistakes, and the reconciliation is the opportunity to make sure that the transactions that you've entered actually match the bank statement, the credit card statement, the loan statement. So the reconciliation is your time to basically double check that information and get things corrected. You'll want to do your reconciliation on a monthly basis, and you'll want to make sure that that gets completed for all of your bank accounts, credit card accounts. You can also reconcile other accounts within QuickBooks, but we're going to focus today on a simple bank reconciliation for a month for a company. There are multiple ways to get to the bank reconciliation inside QuickBooks. One is to use the home screen and click on the icons. I like to use the drop-down menus from the top because that's what I'm used to. So I go to Banking and I Reconcile. The first thing you'll do inside the bank reconciliation is make sure that you choose the account that you're intending to reconcile. In this instance, we're going to be reconciling the bank statement from People's First Bank. That's the name of the account in our chart of accounts, and we've named it that way so that it's easy for us to understand when we get to the paper records. The next thing you'll pay attention to on the right-hand side of the screen is the actual statement date. Now this particular bank statement is September 1st through September 30th, 2021. The date that you're interested in and will need to enter in QuickBooks so that it matches is this ending date, September 30, 2021. So that's the date that goes in the statement date section. We use the tab key to move down to the next line, and we enter our ending balance from the bank statement. That bank statement ending balance is $2,180.06, and that's the ending balance from the bank statement. So keep in mind, draw your eyes over to the bank statement side, and we're going to look at the beginning balance of $1,548.25, a summary of all the deposits for the month, a summary for all the withdrawals for the month, to get down to the ending balance. On the bank statement, you'll see that the deposits are all grouped together right below that summary. And then we have the withdrawals and checks posted below that. Sometimes some bank statements separate the ACH and debit card transactions into one section and the checks into a separate section. So read your bank statement, make sure you understand how the bank statement lays that data out. Back to the bank reconciliation screen inside QuickBooks, we've entered our ending balance. If there are service charges that are recorded on the bank statement that we haven't recorded in QuickBooks, we can enter those here using the proper date and the account that we want that expense to be charged to. In addition, we can also enter the interest income that we earned on that bank account. And again, make sure we associate that with the proper income account. Once we have all that information in, we'll hit continue. Now to help you understand what you're looking at, on the left-hand side is your money out. These are your checks, payments, ACH payments, organized by date with a check number column, who the payee was, and the dollar amount. On the right-hand side is our deposits, or what I call our money in. Again, organized by date, a check number if there's information that you enter into QuickBooks, and the fact that it's reflected as a deposit in this situation, as well as the amounts. So our goal in this reconciliation is to take the information that's on the QuickBooks screen and match it to the information that's on the bank statement. Now, you'll notice there's some transactions in this detail on the QuickBooks screen that are beyond the September 30th date. We can change that visual presentation by clicking the Hide Transactions after the statement date button. What that does is essentially hide those transactions that are dated in October. This could be problematic in the event that you entered a transaction dated October, but it actually clears the bank in September. So pay attention to that if you can't find a transaction or you're down to the bottom end of the reconciliation. Check that box and make sure that that transaction just isn't already in there but dated incorrectly. I like to start my reconciliations on the deposit side of QuickBooks. So we start with the deposit of $230.66 and go ahead and put a check on that by clicking the transaction once with your left mouse button. From there, you can continue to use your mouse to click, or you can move your arrow keys up or down and use the space bar to mark that transaction cleared. So as I go down the bank statement, as I clear those deposit transactions, and then I'll notice at the bottom left-hand side of the reconciliation, it gives me a total deposits of $2,096.29. I want to make sure that that matches the bank statement summary. Then I move over to the money outside of the transactions, and I start with my bank statement showing a check number 106 that cleared the bank on September 1st for $632.75. I click that with the mouse, and then I begin moving up or down in the transaction list using my arrow keys. And I'll clear those transactions one at a time as I see them on the bank statement. I don't see the 1205 on the bank statement, so I will leave that unchecked. The 7243, the 154.68, and then the 68.64. If you'll notice, the 68.64 is in there twice. That looks like it's been entered in duplicate and in error. So to fix your error, you can double click the transaction and void that transaction. Save and close. No, just void the check. And once you close that transaction, it takes you back to the reconciliation. You'll notice there's an amount on the bank statement that's not entered into the QuickBooks records. So we will need to go back into the banking register and record that transaction. On 9/15/2021, it appears to be an ACH of some kind, and there's $500 that's being paid out of the bank account. At this point, I have no idea what that's for. So I'm going to code that to an account called Ask My Accountant. That's a bucket that we'll use to essentially gather these transactions that we may not know about or haven't had a chance to research, that we can go back and modify and change once we find out what's going on. Go ahead and record that transaction, close our register, takes us back to the bank reconciliation. We clear the $500 transfer, and we are good to go. Now, bottom left-hand side again, we want to make sure we pay attention to the total checks and payments, matches the withdrawals from the bank statement. If everything is good there, the bottom right-hand side of the screen, which is your ultimate goal, is to make sure that difference is 0. So that difference being 0 is where we want to be. We can go ahead and say Reconcile now, and QuickBooks will prompt us to do something with the reports that it's going to generate. I would encourage you to print a detailed report of your bank reconciliation and then file that reconciliation with a copy of your bank statement in your paper records. All right, one other tip and trick that you can use is if you like to reconcile your bank account throughout the month and basically go online and make sure the transactions are hitting as you would expect, you can do that. If you'll go into the reconciliation for that particular bank account and use $1 for your ending balance, that will allow you to manage the transactions that are clearing the bank throughout the month. Go ahead and click those transactions that have cleared your online bank account and leave the reconciliation. What you'll notice is on the bank register, the check register within QuickBooks, it will put an asterisk. That asterisk essentially represents that that is a pending cleared transaction, but it has not formally been reconciled at that point. So it allows you to move through the month, if you have some downtime, to match those transactions and get the transactions caught up in the books and records. You'll want to do this reconciliation for all your accounts each and every month so that you can identify those problems and issues within the accounts sooner than later, and so that your reports are accurate that you're using for your business. Good luck and happy accounting.